Dr. John. Go.
Dr.
Oh, there it is. Fantastic.
You want to be? I want to be there. Yeah, I'm not practiced. I'm deaf in my left ear.
That's it. Yeah. Pivot. I'll get up. All right. So, panel, this is purely reactionary. So you don't have to come up with anything except reacting to the question. All right, my first paper question, I don't have an author. These have been submitted to me anonymously, so if you know, you know. Okay, we have heard several speakers refer to the meaning crisis. Could someone briefly explain what that is and how it develops? Before John takes us, it's like 50 hours of it. So maybe that's what they're asking. Is like, can we do a quickie?
We can all get down.
I just asked, and apparently they're sold out of my book, so I can't tell you just go buy the book.
Sold out.
So we need to be, I'm not going to repeat the arguments I made. We need to be religio. We need to be connected. When people are talking about meaning in life, that's what they're talking about. And the metaphor they often use is, I want to be connected to something larger to myself. But that's a metaphor because if you chain them to an ocean liner, they don't feel fulfilled. Okay? So what does it mean? And then they struggle. But I want you to think about some of the words that are woven into wisdom traditions, like awakening or enlightenment. When you're in a dream, you're in a little world and it seems real to you, yes? And then you wake up, awakened, that's what Buddha means, the awakened one, and you awaken to a larger world that has the capacity to show you how you were deceived in the smaller world. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So when people say they want to be connected to something larger than themselves, they're really saying, I want to be connected to something that's more real, that will liberate me from self-deception, self-destructive behavior. And so that's why I was sort of railing against the idea of meaning is like, meaning is a totally personal matter. It's just something I have my own meaning. It's like, meaning doesn't work that way. It has to be shareable, it has to be correctable, because it's ultimately about connecting you more deeply to what is real. Now that means that making your life more meaningful is inseparably bound up with cultivating wisdom, where wisdom doesn't mean saying vaguely obscure things in French cafes or on mountaintops. Wisdom means your ability to see through self-deception and connect to what's real, within and without, in a way that enhances your agency, your selfhood, and your personhood, which means enhances the community's ability to do that, because personhood and community are inseparable. Okay, so the short explanation for the meaning crisis is, in order to cultivate wisdom, knowledge is about what you know, wisdom is about how you know. In order to cultivate wisdom, you have to do a lot of practices, and you have to have a lot of good role models, and you have to have a tradition that gives you a sense of the depth and the significance of the practices. The place that used to do all of that was religion. And the West has done something that we've never done before in the history of the world. We've tried to, basically secularize for good reasons. And what that meant is we separated the cultivation of wisdom from the acquisition of knowledge, which also has nothing to do with how meaningful you find your life. That means you're starving for connection, you're starving for, and I know you won't believe this, but you're starving for wisdom. And no, I'm not. how many of you want to be less foolish? You're starving for wisdom, okay?
If I were less foolish, it would ruin my brand. If I were less foolish, it would ruin my brand.
So, for a bunch of historical reasons, we separated all those things, and you can see that in how the church, which was about life, and the university, which was about knowledge, and the monastery, which was about wisdom, and they were all like this, and then they got separated and isolated, and then we isolated knowledge and wisdom and meaning from each other, and it's fragmented, and so the meaning crisis is as much a connectedness crisis, a wisdom cultivation crisis. So here's the meaning crisis in action. Where do you go for information? Where do you go for information? Answer me.
YouTube.
Internet. Hold up your phone, you're all cyborgs like me. Okay, where do you go for knowledge? Well, maybe this science, I don't know. Where do you go for wisdom? YouTube. You're going to YouTube for wisdom. Yeah. So the point I'm making is, you can't cultivate wisdom without practice, community, tradition, and you can't cultivate meaning or the enhancement of meaning without cultivating wisdom. And our culture has abandoned that project. That's the meaning crisis. And sorry, that's probably not very convincing, but I'm trying to collapse 50 hours of argument, way more than 50, because I've been talking about this since 2019. So all the hours of video, so that's my best attempt.
So, for the rest of the panel, just to stick on this point,